We have all kinds of fun stuff happening around the homestead today. Over here, my oldest son is making a wine cap mushroom bed. We are year-round homeschoolers. I guess you could say we are kind of sort of on a summer break right now. Even so, the learning does not stop around here. Over here we have this cabin and my girls asked if they could fix it up. So I found them some paint and supplies and they're over here listening to oldies and seem to be having a good time. A couple of the boys are helping off and on. I think if you were to ask them, they would say, this is the ultimate home ed arts and crafts project. For now, the kids are going to use this place as a hangout and we'll use it as a guest house. Long term, we're not quite sure what we're going to do with this cabin yet. Thought about turning it into a barn because it is kind of rough right now. Also thought about turning it into a bakery. I don't know. I think with a little TLC, this place has a lot of potential. What do you guys think we should do with it? Stick around because in a minute, I'll show you the after. It's a drastic improvement from what you see here. And we still have one bed here that we have not tackled. It's completely taken over with weeds. This is supposed to be the asparagus bed. Still got to get to it. I guess you could call this a mycology home ed project. We don't really know what we're doing with this one cap mushroom bed. We are still learning, always learning. We looked up how to do one. It seems pretty straightforward. We prepared this little bed and then we're supposed to scatter wood chips. I'm hoping the pine cones count. There was already a bunch of wood that had fallen from the fir tree. We're supposed to scatter the sawdust spores on wood chips. So I bought these wine cap mushroom spores from a new friend. She said wait till the bag of them turns quite white before planting, and these were pretty white. They don't look at here as much, so we're supposed to sprinkle the spores and sawdust that was in the bag and then cover it with more sawdust and try to keep it wet all summer. I'm hoping we're going to be able to achieve that. We do live in a somewhat of a drier area and we also live on a mountain and water can be limited at times. If this winds up being successful, we should have wine cap mushrooms in October, I believe. I hope it's successful, but even if it's not, we did learn a lot about fungi and mycology while doing this. With garden season being in full swing, we've been doing a lot of planting, weeding, and of course, harvesting. I read a book years ago by Kim Brenneman called Large Family Logistics, and I did a review on that book. You can look for that in the description below. But in the book, she talked about how it works better to have your children work with you instead of just telling them go do XYZ. I love this because it gives me an opportunity to spend some quality time with my children and teach them valuable lessons that they will be able to carry with them their entire life. One of my favorite discussions to have with them when we're working in the garden is to talk about how bad things like bad habits, unhealthy habits, and essentially things that God would call sin can creep into our lives just like the weeds in the garden. If we do not daily seek those weeds out and pull them in the garden and in our spiritual life, they will rob all of the plant's blessings, the nutrition. They will hog up the sunlight and block out sunlight from the plants and essentially crowd out the good plants. And so in life, it works the same. We have to work on making good habits. We have to work on weeding out the bad habits. We have to have daily conversations with God. And if we don't do that, the same thing can happen in our lives that happens with the plants. They will get choked out by the weeds. They will essentially start dying back and we will not have a harvest from them. I find that this is an effective illustration and we all learn best with good illustrations to go along with Bible verses. So the Bible verse for this devotion is Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. I promise to show you guys the after views of the cabin. I don't have video clips. I hope that's okay. All I have are these pictures that I took after we got it all finished. Let me know in the comments what you guys think we should do with this space. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications, because if you don't hit that bell, hitting subscribe is pretty much worthless. YouTube will not let you know when I produce a video. So hit the bell too. Thank you again.